OA Karen sued me for owning too much cows and land. Finds out I own the OA too. The warm sun peeking through the blinds, and the gentle hum of lawnmowers in the distance. It's a typical morning in a suburban paradise, where families gather on front porches, children play in the park, and neighbors exchange warm smiles. But beneath this idyllic facade, a storm was brewing. A storm that would shake the very foundations of our community and challenge everything we thought we knew about power, control, and justice. In this seemingly perfect neighborhood, a sense of unease had been growing. It started with small things: a misplaced garden gnome, a slightly overgrown lawn, or a fence painted the wrong shade of white. But these minor infractions were enough for our HOA president, Karen, to unleash her wrath. She would send stern letters, issue fines, and even show up unannounced at residents' doors, her presence as unwelcome as a cold winter breeze. Karen's grip on the community was tight. She dictated every detail, from the color of your front door to the type of flowers you could plant in your garden. And if you dared to defy her, she would stop at nothing to make an example out of you. The once friendly neighborhood was now a place of fear and resentment, where people whispered about Karen's latest victim in hushed tones. But I never thought I'd be the one to challenge her authority. I was just a regular guy, living my life, minding my own business. That was until the day I received a lawsuit from Karen, claiming that my property was too large and violated community harmony. The reason? I'd too many cows. Yes, you heard that right, too many cows. My name is Michael, and I've lived in this beautiful suburban neighborhood for years. It's a place where community and tranquility are supposed to thrive. However, my life took a dramatic turn when I found myself at odds with Karen. This is a story of power struggles, community dynamics, and the unexpected twist that changed everything. It's a journey of resilience and a call for justice against the abuse of authority. Before I continue, tell me where you're watching from in the comment section. And don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribe button for more of these gripping stories. Have you ever faced a situation where someone in power tried to control your life? How did you handle it? Let's take a step back and understand how this all began. I've always been a law-abiding citizen, passionate about my community and committed to maintaining harmony. I've lived in this beautiful suburban neighborhood for years, where everyone knows each other's names and faces. However, my life took a surprising turn when I decided to expand my property by purchasing more land. Little did I know, this decision would set off a chain of events that would challenge everything I thought I knew about my community. I mean, who wouldn't want a bigger backyard, right? But, as it turns out, not everyone was as excited about my new land as I was. Our neighborhood is picturesque, with well-manicured lawns and friendly faces. But beneath the surface, tensions simmered, especially with Karen at the helm of our HOA. She was the kind of person who made sure every blade of grass was perfectly trimmed, and every house was painted the exact shade of beige specified in the HOA bylaws. At first, it seemed like she was just trying to keep our community looking its best. But as time went on, it became clear that her strict adherence to the rules was more about exerting control than maintaining beauty. Karen was known for her no-nonsense attitude and her ability to find fault in even the smallest things. She would send letters to residents for the most minor infractions, from a garden gnome placed a few inches too far from the sidewalk to a fence that was a shade too dark. Her behavior became increasingly tyrannical, targeting anyone who dared to challenge her authority. And if you crossed her, she would stop at nothing to make an example out of you. The trouble began when Karen sent me a lawsuit claiming that my property was too large and violated community harmony. I was shocked and confused, as there was no legal basis for her claims. I mean, who sues someone for owing too much land? It seemed absurd, but I soon realized that this was just the tip of the iceberg. As I dug deeper, I discovered that Karen had been misusing HOA funds and was determined to maintain her grip on the community. She used the HOA's power to silence anyone who questioned her actions, and her influence extended far beyond our neighborhood. It was a complex web of power and control, and I had unknowingly become her next target. I remember thinking, this can't be real. Is this some kind of joke? But it wasn't a joke. It was my reality, and I had to navigate it. How do you think someone like Karen rises to power in a community? And what are the signs of their abuse of authority? Have you ever encountered someone like Karen in your life? Share your story in the comments below. As the lawsuit from Karen landed on my doorstep, I knew I was in for a fight. It was the first salvo in a long and arduous legal battle that would test my resolve and challenge everything I thought I knew about justice. Despite the absurdity of the claim that my cows and property were too many and violated community harmony, I took it seriously. I mean, who wouldn't when faced with the threat of legal action? The initial court case was a blur of paperwork, lawyers, and courtroom drama. But in the end, justice prevailed, and I won the case. You'd think that would be the end of it. But no, Karen was just getting started. She continued to harass me with violation notices, each one more absurd than the last. It was like she had a never-ending list of complaints, from the color of my mailbox to the type of grass I had in my front yard. I remember one notice that said my grass was too green. Yes, you heard that right, too green. It was like she was trying to find fault in everything I did. But I wasn't going to back down. I decided to fight back. Not just for myself, but for the community. I gathered evidence of Karen's misconduct, documenting every violation notice, every threatening letter, and every instance of her abuse of power. I prepared for a showdown, knowing that it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to expose Karen's true intentions and bring her reign of terror to an end. The community was starting to rally behind me, whispering words of encouragement and sharing their own stories of Karen's abuse. The stakes were raised when I revealed a shocking truth. I owned the land the HOA office sat on. This revelation turned the tables as Karen realized she was in a precarious position. She had been using my land without permission, and now she faced the possibility of being evicted from her own office. It was a bold move, but it was necessary to show her that I wouldn't be intimidated. As the news spread, the community began to see Karen in a different light. They realized that her actions weren't about maintaining harmony, but about maintaining control. An investigation into Karen's activities uncovered a trail of financial mismanagement and abuse of power. It turned out she had been using HOA funds for personal expenses, from lavish vacations to expensive jewelry. The community was outraged. They demanded justice, calling for Karen's resignation and a full audit of the HOA's finances. It was a turning point. Not just for me, but for the entire neighborhood. We were no longer afraid of Karen. We were united against her. I remember the look on her face when she realized she was losing control. It was a mix of shock and desperation, like she couldn't believe her empire was crumbling around her. But it was too late. The damage was done. The community had seen the truth, and there was no going back. What do you think is the most effective way to challenge someone in power who is abusing their authority? Should you take legal action, rally community support, or use media exposure? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's take a deep breath and reflect on what we've learned so far. The power of community and the importance of standing up against injustice are themes that resonate deeply in this story. But there's more to come. The final act is where the real drama unfolds, and justice is served. Stay tuned, folks. It's about to get even more interesting. As the investigation into Karen's activities concluded, her downfall was swift and decisive. The HOA was dissolved, and our community was finally free from her oppressive rules. It was a moment of pure relief, like a weight had been lifted off our shoulders. We could finally live without the constant fear of being fined or harassed for something as trivial as a misplaced garden gnome. The community came together to celebrate our newfound freedom. Neighbors who had been estranged for years due to Karen's divisive tactics began to reconnect, sharing stories of their own struggles and triumphs. It was a time of healing and rebuilding, as we worked to restore the sense of community that Karen had so callously destroyed. This experience taught me the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. It showed me that one person can make a difference, not just by fighting for themselves, but by inspiring others to do the same. It also highlighted the dangers of unchecked power and the strength of community solidarity. When we stand together, we are unstoppable. I remember the first community meeting after Karen's downfall. It was like a breath of fresh air. People were laughing, smiling, and actually enjoying each other's company without the looming shadow of Karen's rules. We discussed new ways to manage our community, focusing on inclusivity and mutual respect rather than strict adherence to outdated bylaws. My story is a testament to resilience and the power of justice. It shows that even the most unlikely person can make a difference when they refuse to back down. I was just a regular guy who decided to stand up against an authoritarian figure, and look at what happened. It's a reminder that we all have the power to challenge injustice and create positive change in our communities. How can we ensure that our communities remain safe from authoritarian figures like Karen? Should we implement stricter checks on power, encourage more community engagement, or use technology to monitor and report abuses of authority? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's reflect on the journey we've been on. From the initial shock of receiving that lawsuit to the final victory of seeing Karen's downfall, it's been a wild ride. But it's not just about me. It's about the community that came together to fight for justice. And that's where our story ends. But the conversation doesn't have to. Let's keep discussing how we can build stronger, more just communities. Your input matters, so don't hesitate to share your thoughts. As we conclude this story, I want to leave you with a call to action. If you faced similar struggles or know someone who has, share your story in the comments below. Together, we can create a wave of change and ensure that justice prevails in our communities. Your experiences, whether big or small, can inspire others to stand up for what's right. And remember, if someone tells you that you're owning too many cows, just smile and say, "That's not a thing." But seriously, stand up for what's right, even if it seems impossible. Every small victory counts, and collective action can lead to profound change. Final thoughts. Every voice matters, and collective action can lead to profound change. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and always stand up for what is right. Whether it's challenging an unjust rule, supporting a local cause, or simply being a good neighbor, your actions can make a difference. As you reflect on this story, I want you to think about the power you hold. You don't have to be a hero or a leader to make a change. Sometimes, it's just about being brave enough to speak up or stand up for someone else. So, what will you do today to make a positive impact in your community? Will you volunteer at a local charity, help a neighbor in need, or simply spread awareness about an important issue? Whatever it is, know that it matters. What will you do today to make a positive impact in your community? Share your plans in the comments below, and let's inspire each other to create a better world. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing your stories and ideas in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories of resilience and justice. Until next time, stay empowered and keep making a difference.